Even as you read these words, my beloved child, do you comprehend how close I am to you right now? My presence envelopes you like a soft, reassuring breeze that I have been longing for this entire time. Consider this message as my precious moment in your day where I can communicate straight to your heart. Message to you personally, a whisper of love on a sacred wind. Rest in the. I've known you by name from the day your heart started beating, and I know that you are infinitely loved. You are neither a coincidence or the product of pure luck. I saw your grin long before you ever breathed. I foresaw every second of your hardships, your dreams, and your tears. Yes, my child, your life with a father's delight, ready to walk with you in triumph and to stay by your side in grief. You are the object of my intense love, not just any soul floating aimlessly in a huge universe, but a priceless creation made with divine purpose. And I greet you now, with arms wide open, wanting to reassure you that my heart is always open. When you feel burdened or far away, can you feel the warmth of that embrace? Unworthy. Keep in mind that my love is unconditional and unaffected by your achievements, or stopped by your shortcomings in the same way as a parent's eyes light up with unwavering love for a son they love or. My eyes are always kind and inviting when I look at you, daughter. Devout. Pause. Take a deep breath and let yourself rest in this reality. There is no area of your life where I am not present, and I adore you. Heart that eludes me when you laugh, and I rejoice with you when sorrowful shadows appear. Obstruct your eyesight while I hold you in my arms and bear some of your pain. If you have questioned my care, let me to expose all of the lies that your alone whispers, and I'm closer than your breath. Maybe you have. I pondered whether there is indeed a love that lasts forever and a tranquility that endures when storms come. My dear, I can promise you that my love is not like shifting sand or changing seasons. Stay strong and unwavering in any situation, acting as a beacon to help you find your way back whenever you, even on your best and worst days. My love for you remains unwavering, prepared to soothe, heal, and restore when the world's burden becomes too much to bear, becomes burdensome for you. Rely on me, and allow me to be the safe haven where you may rest your exhausted soul. On other days, you could feel far away from me, wondering whether I've stopped being there. Please know that I have never left your side, even while I'm working in ways you can't see. Beyond your comprehension, I can see your complete journey from its modest beginnings to its magnificent conclusion, and if you like, I'll accompany you over every peak and into every valley. If you pay close attention, you will hear my soft voice telling you that you are loved. My child, you are seen and desired, and you give up your burdens at. Give me my feet, my regrets, my anxieties, and the scars that sometimes seem too deep to mend. You were never intended to bear them alone, allowing them to fall off your shoulders and into the arms of the caretaker who created the stars. I offer you my peace in exchange for your deepest wishes, gift that finds its way into the center of your life and rises above the chaos of your situation. Being brave enough to accept the fact that your life matters greatly and that every talent you have matters. Every prayer you offer and every good word you say are heard. Enjoy the special way you make when you're comfortable and reflect my image. You reflect the love that emanates from my spirit to yours when you take care of others. And my hand is always there to lift you even if you trip or feel like you've lost your way. Yes, my darling, let this be. There is nothing you could do to cause me to leave you. A fresh start. Put your heart in my care and let my love fill every void within of you when you're feeling scared or unsure. Recall the person who addresses you by name and asserts that you are his own. If any questions are raised, let them be put to rest. By my comforting words, you are mine, and I promise never to let your heart leave me. My dear child, have you ever found rest in the sanctuary of my unending love? Wondered how well I understood at those silent, solitary times when I am very aware of how your thoughts are whirling like leaves in the fall breeze. Nothing eludes my observation of every emotional flash, no. No sigh escapes your lips without my sympathetic ears, and a tear slides down your cheek without my tender eyes. I am the one who shaped your innermost self and knitted you together after hearing it, with care and purpose, and I know you much better than you realize. Think about how a talented artist is aware of every color and brushstroke, curvature of the masterpiece that they are making, just as I am aware of your complexity, your undiscovered treasures, your advantages and disadvantages, and even the minute details you discover confusing traits in oneself, such as worries, oddities, and questions. I look at them with steadfast love, and I see no aspect of your personality that, should you ever come upon it, I have not intentionally incorporated into my design. If you're feeling lost or misinterpreted by the world, keep in mind that you are completely acknowledged and observed. I don't observe them from a distance. I lean in closer than you can imagine, and I'm not aloof or uncaring. I care about every breath you take. Consider every idea that comes to mind when life's burdens are heavy on your shoulders, and I feel them by your side, not just see them. Empathy is an active flow of compassion rather than a passive feeling, like a father who bends down to soothe a weeping child. From my heart to yours, I go out of my way to tell you that you are never alone in your suffering. Remember the times you felt, days when you felt completely alone, and believed that no one could ever understand the pain inside your soul. But I was there even in that alone, whispering hope into the quiet. My sympathetic love is not dependent on your consciousness or degree of faith, but rather on the passageways of your heart. Whether you recognize me or not, my commitment to you is unwavering. I am aching for you to embrace me and let me experience your hardships. Observe your accomplishments as well, even though you may occasionally overlook them. I appreciate each act of forgiveness whenever you chose compassion when it would have been simpler to snap. You pray and give me your bravery, extending every frightening thought. These triumphs are a delight to me because of your kindness and perseverance. Heart, don't brush them off as unimportant. In my opinion, every stage of growth is evidence of the beauty I bestowed upon you, my dear. Identify the areas in your mind where light has not yet penetrated, such as your uncertainties and unresolved questions. Maybe you have trouble comprehending why some doors remain or trusting my timing. I want to bear those uncertainties with you, so please bring them to me. Your ability to empathize encompasses both your questions and your hurts. Your uncertainties don't threaten me. Instead, I want to gently lead you through them and reveal my truth in the best possible way. Nothing you encounter this season, no matter how daunting, overwhelms me. I'm shocked to see how your previous traumas continue to cloud your present. See the difficulties you are going through right now that are wearing you down, and I can even see the difficulties you may face in the future. I'm prepared with solutions before they ever show up for you, solace that surpasses your worst heartbreak, and a helping hand that goes beyond your wildest expectations. I also extend an invitation to you, my child, that will not falter when you stumble. See yourself as I see you, and let my empathy's clarity erase the skewed reflections that could be caused by regret or shame. Allow my unshakable acceptance changes how you see yourself, even though others may criticize you based on your flaws or measure. Your value is determined by your short-lived achievements, but I define you by your love, your potential, your fate, and your ability to triumph in my presence. Condemnation, but rather a strong desire to see you thrive in the entirety of who I made you to be. So don't be afraid. Nothing hidden from my sight could alter my love for you, let alone. This confidence seeps into your soul. You are well and deeply known, and you are incredibly valuable, my kid. Raise your gaze to mine and discover. In this space of intimacy, you can find the empathy you've always sought, allowing your concerns to be soothed, and when you realize how I see your fears, your heart finds solace. Start to fade and be replaced with my faithful's light. Sympathy, my love. I can see the burden that occasionally hangs over your heart, the questions that ring in your head, the restless nights, and the unspoken anxieties. Since nobody else is here today, I would like to remind you that my presence is a very real and unwavering haven, not a distant consolation. Listen to the soft whisper of my voice during your uncertain moments. I'm here for you, are not alone. Even the most resilient of you can become tired, and I am aware that occasionally you may. Do not give up hope, even if you feel like your resilience is running out. Ready to comfort you, hold you in my arms, and elevate your spirits when you're worn out from. When your mind is filled with worries, rely into my power to handle life's demands. Rest in the safety of my tranquility, for even when life's storms roar, I stand firm like a rock, which you can firmly put your feet on. I can handle any burden. To have with you when your aspirations appear unattainable or your heart hurts from disappointment. To elude your grasp and hold on to the knowledge that I haven't forgotten you. Bringing beauty out of brokenness is my specialty, my child. Remember the stories? You've read and heard the accounts of people who were on the verge of despair before learning about my grace at the 11th hour weren't random occurrences, but let me offer some words of encouragement as evidence of my unwavering faithfulness. Do not be discouraged because I am your God. I am with you, so do not let fear enter your soul. These are not just empty words. They capture the spirit of my pledge to protect and defend you, your anxieties into my presence, and observe how they start to fade as you open up about them. When you trust my heart, you regain the tranquility when they lose their power before me. I am aware that part of you hesitates when that anxiety tries to take, pondering whether these promises are actually intended for you. Perhaps you have witnessed others achieve success while your heart is aching for relief, and I can promise you that I have enough to offer. My comfort and power are not restricted to a small group of people. You are my favorite person, and I care deeply about what troubles you. To me, there is no hidden sorrow that I will not attend to, no struggle, and no heartbreak. Take a minute to consider the innumerable times I have carried you, remembering that job you did with divine love, worried that the medical report would be destroyed and that you would lose the connection, whatever endangered your tranquility. Did I fail to support you during it all, even though the answers might not always come in the shape you expect? My loyalty remains unwavering through every hardship I offer. I provide consolation that goes beyond human understanding through and in every grief. Explanation, you might question, but how do I get over the chronic pains and anxieties that I deal with on a regular basis, my love? Resting in my promises and nourishing your heart with my word is the first step, child. Letting each verse speak truth while strengthening the foundation of your faith. Declare over yourself that I am not abandoned because God loves me very much and I will rise. Because I am supported by his power as you say these words out loud or in. Your mind and spirit are in harmony with heaven's reality, triumphing. Is rarely a sudden occurrence. Rather, it is a journey, although even the longest consists of numerous tiny steps, and I walk each one with you while you pray. We weave together every tear you shed and every moment of faith in the face of hardship. Don't hate the long process. Instead, weave them together into a triumphant tapestry. Acknowledge that through the hardships, character is being shaped in the refining fire and endurance is being developed. I am faithful to you, and I whisper hope into your heart. Let me be the shepherd who guides you to still when the journey gets steep. Waters relax in my presence as the source of, rather than an escape from, reality. My comfort is not intended to numb. Rather, it is strength that empowers you to face reality with bravery. It's supposed to give you courage, so when you rely on me, you have the strength to maintain the fortitude to recover and the faith that everything will work out. Now that you've tasted, together for good under my omnipotent care, my darling, I invite you to look inward and allow the stillness to be the source of my consolation. Cover your heart, enabling you to view the more profound aspects of your soul. You can discover old wounds and silent regrets in the quiet corners. It's time to bring the burdens you've carried for too long into my love so that healing can start. Surrendering means putting your broken parts in the hands of someone else, not giving up or accepting defeat. I don't expect perfection before I get it from the person who knows how to fix problems. Instead, I welcome you into my open, scars and all, arms honestly examines the pain you have experienced, the times when life felt unfair, and the shame you feel. You have buried this painfully honest reflection beneath the surface of your regular routines. Even though it might pave the way for a meaningful experience with my mercy, your transgressions, shortcomings, and regrets are laid at my feet in front of me. When guilt consumes your heart, keep in mind that my grace is a purifying river that never runs dry. That even though I am already familiar with every phase of your journey, I continue to. On the contrary, I desire to relieve you of the burden of criticism. Let go of your feelings of inadequacy toward me, and trust my pledge that even if your transgressions are red, they will be as white as. Maybe you question whether certain aspects of your past are too ruined to be salvaged. You may be confident that I can turn any chapter of your life around for the better when you give me your wounds, whether they were caused by someone else or by poor decision-making. Decisions I carefully turn into testimonials of healing what once caused embarrassment, become a tale of hope, inspiring others to have faith in me during this process, since I look past your current suffering to the wonderful purpose I have weaved throughout your. Let your thoughts dwell on the gifts you have been given throughout your life. Remember the responses to prayer. Thankfulness nourishes the soil of surrender, the connections that have inspired you, and the times when you've just been amazed, witnessed. Allow those recollections to serve as a reminder that my loyalty is permanent, seasoned, but if I have been true in the past, will I not be faithful now? Keep being faithful, and now let gratitude and praise flow from within you, removing the doubts that some responsibilities are too awful to describe. Even in prayer, child, my spirit groans and intercedes there. When your tears become your only form of prayer, remember that I read them and that you are never alone in your fight. Eloquent speeches are not necessary to move my heart, as they are as plain as if they were a psalm. When you lower your defenses and entrust, your vulnerability already exists. You open the door for my healing presence to pour divine light into every wound by concealing your wounds from me. As you give up, keep in mind to forgive when you feel resentment and hatred. Take root, they poison your spirits well, and forgiveness is the key that opens. The chain that ties you to previous wrongs does not negate your hurt experienced, nor does it trivialize injustice. Rather, it is an operation of deep faith in my mercy and justice. As you free people from the debt they owe you, you also get out of the eternal prison. Fury, turn over every transgression to me, and observe as freedom emerges like a fresh. Consider the worries that might still be there in your heart this morning. The fear of the anxieties like future failure worry and unlovability fear can take precedence. The greatest hope. Let me remind you that I am in charge of your destiny, and my sincere intentions toward you. Give up these worries to me. I've gone before you prepared. So don't let nervousness control your behavior or stifle your dreams. The path, and I follow you, protecting your steps while you let go of your fears. In the end, allowing faith to blossom through surrender is an act of love that recognizes that I am the only one. May carry the entire weight of your spirit, which is a request for me to mold your heart, revitalize your intellect, and reinterpret your viewpoint. As you release yourself from the things you cannot control, you get what I want to give you: serenity, wholeness, and a closer bond. Your heart is no longer plagued by remorse or shaken by guilt because of my spirit. Takes this leap of faith and becomes an empty vessel that is ready to be filled with my presence. Your brokenness, your sorrows, your brokenness were laid inward with honesty and upward with hope. I pledge that in exchange for your ambitions and your frailty at my feet, the gentle confirmation of my love, the dependable rock of my tranquility, and the delightful certainty that I promise never to abandon you, So let this be the turning point in your life. Give up a moment of transformation in which you let my healing light shine through all the shadowy areas of your past and present, my darling. You have accompanied me on this voyage by sharing your heart's reflections, confessing your troubles, and sensing my. Now that you're prepared to carry them, let me bring you closer to that silence, sacred space where I reside, extending an invitation to a deep connection that goes beyond. In this place, all apprehensive thoughts and lingering regrets stop striving. Walls collapse, and my spirit enters your soul's deepest recesses as you come with the desire to know me and to be known, not with any predetermined objective. According to me, everything around you frequently moves quickly and demands your attention and breaking your heart into innumerable fragments. Yet there is an endless need for oneness with your Creator that cannot be satiated by any material possession once you realize and honor this need by providing opportunities to feel my proximity in ways that reduce the noise and provide you with delicious comfort so you can sleep better. This is not. It is about resting in the unfailing favor I already provide to you, not about winning my favor with some spectacular performance. Consider how a trusting youngster might be embraced with confidence by a loving parent, because those arms provide safety and a sense of belonging. Therefore, I also encourage you to take a nap. Allow your heart to release its hold on the burdens it bears in me without reservation. Every worried thought in my skilled hands. Some evenings you may discover yourself wide awake with the burden of your anxieties bearing down on you even. Then confess your worries to me in the comfort of my presence if you can sigh them if words aren't enough, and you'll discover that my proximity isn't only the official prayer times, but it also encompasses every breath you take in this sacred intimacy. You don't have to hide your wounds or put on a front, or the innermost recesses of your heart, where I can see through your barriers. I wish to meet you here because of who you really are, the point when your humanity and my divinity meet, where sincerity allows the route to recovery and change, and when you let your defenses down in front of me, you find that I get completely without approaching. My love is not dependent on presenting a polished image of oneself. You remain unwavering despite your weaknesses. Take into account how a devoted buddy carefully hears every narrative. I am that friend in triumph and tragedy, but I also hold a lot more. The ability to revitalize your soul in the quiet of genuine communion. You'll notice that my responses are frequently mild rather than overwhelming revelations. Tendencies of your heart, an unexpected feeling of calm, contentment, or positive ideas that support what I've said could be the ways I whisper back to you. Pay attention to these. Subtleties are indications of my intimate yet loving conversation with your spirit. Has its seasons, much like the weather, and there may be moments when you physically sense my presence. It's like a sunny summer day with lots of light. There may be moments when you feel as though you are wandering through the silence of winter, wondering where the warmth is. Please don't assume that, despite the silence I'm in, I'm not there, fostering your faith and instructing you to trust in my character, instead of relying on ephemeral feelings. Just as seeds are concealed under the ground throughout the winter, so too do my trust that new life is stirring, because work frequently takes place beyond what is visible to the naked eye. Allow me to explain this further, even if you are not yet able to see it. Become your home. The texts are more than just old books. They are living. Whether you focus on a single line or lose yourself in the flow of truth that reveals my heart, my spirit is prepared to breathe those words into entire sections. Imagine each pledge as a personal declaration of my love as you read this. The lessons of hope, the psalms of grief and praise, and the tales of salvation ingrain themselves into your heart. They will discover me waiting to speak with you, revealing my character one revelation at a time, and engaging in worship as well. Transforms becomes a portal to my presence when you raise your voice, whether in a religious, aligning your spirit with heaven's chorus worship, whether in a group setting or in the privacy of your own house. is more than just. Songs and lyrics are an expression of your heart's passion and a reaction. You turn your attention from the love I always show you and worship to, earthly problems to my everlasting sovereignty. Even a small token of appreciation, given in the middle of suffering, turns into a potent, moving act of devotion. As you build this intimate existence, keep in mind that relaxation is far beyond the present. Being with me is not a sign of inactivity. Rather, it is the foundation of your identity. Within the silence of our communion, I am allowing myself to mold your wishes and allay your fears. We'll learn to overcome obstacles with a spirit strengthened by peace, and anxieties will cease to exist when they. Let this intimacy serve as your home base while you confront the overwhelming reality of my love for you. Location you go back to after tasting my food, regardless of how far you walk or how busy you get. Proximity. It will inevitably crave more. Treat this desire as a sacred one. Invitation. Look for me every day in the little moments and in your impromptu prayers. You will discover that my heart is already bent toward you despite my joys and sufferings. The door is open. The table is ready. So please come rest with me because I enjoy your friendship more than you can possibly imagine, my darling kid. The world is full of glimpses of my majesty, from the wonder of my divine artistry to your eyes. From the universe spinning in perfection to the tiniest wildflower penetrating concrete, all of creation, including you, reflects a portion of my majesty and harmony. Your spirit can be enchanted by spiritual visions that beyond common sight during these times of stillness. Standing next to roaring waves in the ocean, each surge may symbolize a obstacle you encounter is really difficult and uncontrollable. Yet imagine my hand reaching out dividing the raging waters to allow you to walk on them while maintaining eye contact. Fear no longer controls me, and what seems impossible turns into a path of faith. Recall I swear that I will never allow you to sink, because I am in charge of the wind and the waves to continue feeling my mantle's warmth as it lies on your shoulders. This covering is made of the fabric of my unending love, not earthly threads, and it envelopes you like a soft shield that is impervious to the missiles of doubt and condemnation. Pull this mantle close and let it to serve as a reminder when life's storms are at their worst. In my sanctuary, you are shielded by the Almighty's wings, Look to the horizon and notice how my spirit is unaffected by the fiercest wind or the darkest night. Glistening with heavenly light, this blade is designed to protect you rather than intimidate you. Invisible conflicts that flare against your heart when lies are whispered by insecurities. My sword of truth pierces every lie when prior regrets are brought to light. I break their chains when they try to bind your soul, so you don't have to be afraid because I'm sure I'll win if I fight for you, and I'd like you to stand in. Can you see mountains quivering and moving in response to my command of the obstacles? That victory with unflinching confidence. You may seem immobile at first, but I, who created the mountains, can make them move. Bow low faith is essential when you have greater faith in my ability than you do in your fear of. Even deserts and the magnitude of mountains can produce miracles, such as giants must fall, can blossom under my touch. Keep in mind what I said. With God, nothing is impossible. When life's obstacles seem imminent, hold on to them. Close your eyes and see the chains. These chains, whether they be addiction, guilt, or grief, are melting away around your ankles. Possess no final say over a heart that has been given to me. Like a master locksmith, I am in possession of the key that opens. You no longer have to carry the burden of your previous errors in every shackle. You move forward in freedom because I've come to remove the restrictions preventing you from experiencing delight to the fullest. Created only for you, imagine my kind hands gently removing tears from your eyes. Don't ignore your suffering. I cherish each tear and save it in my memory as evidence of how deeply you experience, but I also guarantee comfort. Comfort that goes beyond human comfort. As you surrender your sorrow to me, I observe a tenderness that calms even the most intense pain. How, my dear child, I exchange your grief for joy and your lamentation for dancing, a magnificent tapestry woven through time, with each thread representing your life and each joy. My eternal purpose is entwined with strife, and I don't waste a single thread when you see just tangled mess, but I see a dynamic masterpiece being created. Trust my mastery, weaver, because I am the only one who knows how to turn loose ends into living ones. I value your life, art, and I will always be there with my creative hand. Incomplete, allow these pictures to linger in your mind. They are all reflections of my transcendent strength and unwavering concern. The poetic language I choose is not intended for simple exaggeration, but to show how deeply I care for you. I am passionate in my defense of you, and kind in consoling you. I am the Lord of the impossibly difficult and the God of deep intimacy. When doubts or discouragement emerge, the shepherd who knows every hair on your head and the legions of heaven. Remember these divine images, and remind yourself that you wear a mantle and walk on water by faith. Of love that mountains submit to my sword of truth, and that you use it. Tell them to keep in mind the restraints that have been taken off and the tears I have softly wiped from your cheeks. Scenes act as anchors, bringing you back to my unwavering promises. My child, take comfort in the fact that I am always by your side, whether you are fighting or winning. Nearer to the abundance of my assurances treasures that flow straight from my limitless heart to yours during your trip. You have sensed my proximity, saw glimmers of my defense, and felt the strength of give up now. I'm eager to share the many blessings and profound changes that inevitably occur when you walk hand in hand with me, and I can relate to the desire in your heart for genuine and long-lasting change. Perhaps you felt trapped in some behaviors or routines that you are unable to break, worries that consume you, or relationships that appear unsalvageable. Are aware that I am the all-seeing deity. Opportunities where all you see are dead ends. I'm an expert at bringing rivers of hope that desert areas would similarly bring life out of arid terrain, just as seeds are concealed and dormant before emerging into vivid blossoms. Can your spirit blossom in trust that I am working after going through periods of emptiness? It is rarely an instantaneous process to nurture and prepare your spirit to blossom in newness. When development appears to be sluggish, you might wonder if my promises are really for you. However, each act of obedience, each prayer uttered with confidence, and each tear revealed in sincere surrender, these are holy investments that bear fruit at the right time. Don't give up when your schedule does not contain the answers you seek. My insight is far beyond human comprehension, and I am aware of the exact moment to fulfill each vow between sowing a seed and there is a waiting period, a period of watering, nurturing, and, I assure you, patient, that I am the God who heals broken dreams, missed callings, and failed relationships. If you've ever felt that certain, roads are permanently closed. But keep in mind that nothing in my control is irreparable, including broken relationships. Under the burden of miscommunication can be restored with honesty, forgiveness, and old wounds that have festered can heal and become testimony via divine intervention. With my generosity, even the most difficult periods in your life can be turned into pages of salvation, flashing as evidence that I don't waste anything. Depend on me and let my grace rewrite the history of your life and mold the promise of your future rewards under my jurisdiction, restricted to monetary gain. Even if I enjoy meeting your wants, the greatest rewards frequently seem as joy that blossoms even in the face of adversity, and inner serenity that defies. When you give your heart to me, I will give you grief and a sense of completeness that no material pursuit can provide. Swap your fear for my peace, your sadness for my solace, and your sensation of absence for mine. Likewise, these gifts may occasionally arrive subtly, like a soft dawn, but their effects last for a very long time. transcend brief moments of joy, and my child also comprehends that my benefits are intended to flow through you in a way that touches you and goes beyond your personal fulfillment. When I give you financial blessings, it's so you can improve the lives of others around you. Become a channel for giving to the underprivileged, the lonely, and the afflicted when I give you tranquility so that you can serve as a model for others experiencing chaos when I mend your relationships so that others might see my capacity for healing. Work, you are a conduit for my gifts rather than just the one who receives them, which occasionally shows the world my glory and the change I want. You'll have to step outside of your comfort zone, and pruning might be necessary to get rid of harmful. It can be painful to deal with negative attitudes, destructive behaviors, or damaging influences. However, keep in mind that a gardener prunes to promote healthier, more abundant growth rather than to damage the plant. So let me, to remove anything impeding your spiritual development, and I only do this out of love is never given out of rage or condemnation. Rather, it is always intended to help you reach your full potential so you can produce enduring fruit that reflects my name. Pay great attention. I put visions and dreams in your heart that are consistent with my aspirations of making a difference in your community, following your vocation, or raising a family. Maybe you have buried your goals beneath layers of self-doubt in my ways, or skepticism. I ask that you unearth them again and hold them in my hands. I give your God-given passions new life by unlocking doors you thought would be closed and by giving you resources beyond your wildest expectations. Don't be scared to dream again, because as long as you maintain your faith, I am the one who plants and brings the harvest. Keep in mind that I possess the blueprint for your life, and every day presents a chance for more profound change. The blessings that are being revealed, you may only see one step at a time, but I see the whole. Trust me in the unknown, and know that I enjoy traveling with you, celebrating your successes, and helping you through your difficulties. Your tale is being written with. My darling, let these promises be the ink of my purpose, and no page is missed or wasted. Establish a foothold in your heart. You are not alone, and your life is not pointless. I promise to keep the words I've spoken over you. Enjoy every season with assurance that my timing is ideal, my grace is ample, and my love is. Regardless matter where you are at this moment, on the verge of a breakthrough or in the valley of doubts, know that my transformation and blessings are not just ideas. They are actual things. Desire to lavish you. Open your heart wide to accept, and then observe how I show you my love in ways that surpass your wildest dreams. Spend a moment in silence and pay great attention to the questions that whisper, the anxieties that arise in the stillness deep within your soul, doubts that occasionally appear like shadows at dark, softly questioning your faith has enabled me to have these private discussions with you, and I'm no longer scared of your inquiries or I'm offended by your doubts, yet I encourage them to have an open discussion as a way to deeper trust. You may occasionally wonder why or where things went wrong. Were you when I needed you most? Do not quiet these inquiries out of guilt or fear. Sent them to me because, despite your best efforts to hide, I can see them. They invite my healing light when you bring your troubles into my presence, to light upon them like a physician, discovering the fundamental cause sea of agony. I yearn to uncover the truth that heals your wounded heart and gets to the heart of your doubts. Maybe you struggle with the dread of failing, fearing that your shortcomings will overshadow the gifts I chose you, and I put my comforting voice inside you, purposely being completely conscious of your shortcomings while being mesmerized by the beauty of your soul. Your errors don't make you unworthy of my goal. Instead, they make an chance for my grace to be more evident when you falter. I don't cast. Putting you aside, I encourage you and help you grow. Allow this reality to transform you are more than the sum of your shortcomings. You are a cherished kid who has been molded by my unwavering love. May also be afraid of what lies ahead because the world's economies could seem unstable. Health might fluctuate and relationships can break down. yet in the middle of. Doubt I'm still your constant anchor. Question yourself. Sincerely, why am I afraid of the future? Do you mistrust my ability to provide? Since you doubt your own capacity to persevere, bring your worries to me like A. I will teach you in the way of peace, dear teacher, reminding you that I fully believe in tomorrow. My loyalty to you from yesterday attests to the fact that I won't abandon you. Sometimes old scars reemerge in the future, causing internal strife. I see those wounds and am torn between wanting to trust and fearing more suffering. My heart ached the instant they were inflicted, and I grieve with you for the injustice or betrayal. Endured child, do you believe I can redeem even that darkness bring your? Wonders how something so unfair can lead to good, and why I had to endure this. And allow me to demonstrate how I have crafted your power and empathy for a redemptive purpose that will benefit others, even if you have scars that can become marks of surviving and bearing witness that exudes my grace rather than shame. You may encounter, wondering if I'm adequate or if God could really love me in light of everything I've. Let my words serve as a reminder that I truly loved you from the beginning. My love for you is not dependent on whether you win or lose my favor. Let your heart rest in the fact that you are loved, not in your performance. Wanted to be chosen and loved. So instead of keeping your weaknesses hidden, show them to me, and observe how my strength is perfected in your weakness by participating in this holy conversation. Quiet the chaos of your life by not just asking questions, but also waiting for my answer. Distractions should be turned off, constant bustle should be avoided, and time should be set apart. To join me in that stillness, when I frequently speak after gently prompting you in your spirit or a passage of scripture that particularly speaks to me at other times, I use the encouragement from a friend or the wonders of nature. Stay receptive and open to my voice. May appear as a quiet little whisper rather than as thunder on a mountaintop, carried on the breeze. So don't lose hope if the answers don't come right away. Heart, sometimes I'm working in ways that make my timeline more urgent than your questions. You are not yet able to see how I am planning things and getting your heart ready to receive my response in its entirety. Have faith in me that I would never ignore your pleas and will instead treat each one as if it were a priceless gem. Gem, I'm always listening and waiting for the right opportunity to show myself. I want you to know that there isn't any internal conflict either. My dear child, complex for my empathy, I am the God of subtlety, completely aware of your questions, worries, and frustrations were hidden beneath layers of your heart and intellect before. Me as a sign of your devotion and your belief that I am capable of handling. They let go of the need to solve everything by themselves and allowed me. Reduce your burden in order to anchor you and speak calm over the storms within of you. Take these common questions and lay them in the assurance of my unwavering love. When you speak openly with me, you will discover both of them at my feet, my love. The courage to face your worries and the courage to let go of your uncertainties as we keep going and stay open-minded, because I have more advice to provide that will help you navigate life's obstacles with knowledge that will light your way and inspiring hope that surpasses all internal strife as you traverse this. I advise you to be cautious on your spiritual journey because you have experienced my love and learned about the safety of my embrace. But the world you live in is full with subtle traps and diversions. This is not a message intended to divert you from the abundant life I want for you, want to frighten you, but to let you see that being vigilant is essential for spiritual development. The adversary of your soul takes pleasure in planting seeds of. By remaining vigilant and firmly establishing yourself in my truth, you may resist temptation and doubt. First, protect the wealth I have poured into you by being alert for the quiet. A downward spiral of pessimism, despair, cynicism, or incessant whining might take root without your knowledge, and the unregulated negativity gnaws at your spirit, hiding the thankfulness and joy I want you to have. Know when these thoughts appear. Don't be critical of yourself for having them, but act quickly. Bring them into my presence. Give them up to me, and let my word revitalize your. Remember that a single act of gratitude can put out the flames of resentment, and a little prayer can completely change your perspective. Yet just as subtle is the trap of. Your words were intended to accumulate and shed light on the subject of gossip and reckless conversation, gloomy areas, and to show kindness to individuals in your vicinity when discussions turn. Before responding to criticism or slander, consider whether the words you are saying are accurate, represent my heart. People frequently use disparaging remarks against others to cover up their own fears, or to have a brief feeling of superiority. But even seemingly innocuous remarks like this break my spirit can cause severe injuries if left unchecked. You have the ability to damage people as well as to save lives. Pick carefully which one to release, since bitterness, which sometimes results from unsolved issues, is another dangerous trap. Although grief and betrayal may be genuine hatred, wrath, or unhealed wounds increases the damage, contaminating your entire outlook. If you feel resentment forming inside of you, don't let it develop. Bring it to me so I can calm the aching and allow forgiveness to soothe your spirit. Realize that forgiveness is not about letting go of the hurt and acting as though it never happened. Lingering hold through grace, you free the criminal and yourself from protecting. Protecting your heart from resentment is a significant act of stewardship that keeps the wellspring of love I have placed there intact. The lure of temptation can take many different shapes within you in your day-to-day activities. Instant gratification, a speedy route to fulfillment, or a brief reprieve from suffering. But my darling, these assurances are illusory and transient, regardless of whether they show themselves as an unhealthy relationship, an addiction, or an internal desire to compromise your morals. Temptation seeks to deprive you of the greater tranquility and happiness I provide to withstand. Arm yourself with my word. Recall how I resisted the temptation's voice with integrity during weakness alert. I don't embarrass you for your difficulties. Instead, I offer. You have a route out and the fortitude to get through it. Be mindful of the company you keep, but it doesn't mean you have to. After all I have called you to, cut off all connections with those who do not share your beliefs. To be a beacon in the globe, but when specific connections support. Wisdom may necessitate distancing if unhealthy habits or spiritual compromise are involved. Limits or a change in the depth of your involvement. Look for the fellowship of those who encourage you to value deeds and a greater level of devotion by surrounding yourself with godly. Having friends and mentors is similar to planting seeds in rich soil because of their accountability and support. Help you thrive and remain resilient when storms come. Stay mindful of spiritual complacency. It is simple to settle after encountering blessings and breakthroughs. Coast on yesterday's successes and fall into a routine, but your soul is made for a continuous interaction with me that is dynamic every day. Communion complacency saps your enthusiasm and leaves you open to the enemies. Your spirit is frequently fed by deceptions through prayer, worship, and participation in. Scripture should keep your heart open to new experiences with me. Don't allow yesterday's revelation turn to stale bread. Look for something fresh every day and observe. As I continue to share more about who I am and what I have planned for you, be careful to protect your heart from the media that enters through your eyes, ears, and mind. You take in the discussions. You amuse yourself. You look at all. Leave a lasting impression on your soul and beg my spirit to grant you discernment so that you can determine when to avoid those who can contaminate your mind or make you less sensitive to my voice. A guarded heart is one that chooses to avoid showing fear. Above all, remember to be vigilant and to stay pure, available, and prepared for my love to flow freely. Is an expression of love for the community, love for yourself, and love for me. You maintain the precious trust one have put in you by being vigilant around you, making certain that your life is a testament to my strength and shows my grace each. You work with my spirit to infuse hope into a painful situation the instant you choose light over darkness. World, My youngster never gets tired of remaining vigilant despite. Negative thoughts or the lure of complacency are temptations. But know that you are not alone, dear soul. Is prepared to mentor and strengthen you. Draw on my strength and ground yourself in. My reality is to embrace accountability alongside others on the spiritual path by. The beauty I have placed in your heart, which allows it to blossom in all its beauty, is your watchfulness and trust. Plan splendor, my darling child. Take a moment with me in the private area of your heart and allow. Aresh, you have experienced reflections on how my presence stirs you. You have felt my consolation and forgiveness via your alertness and surrender. Yet there is still another. Oh, I wish you could see the awe that comes when you really see. Being infantile is not a sign of naivete. Rather, it is a heart stance that embraces surprise at every turn and acknowledges majesty beyond measure. Think about how dawnlight breaks the night's darkness in that straightforward yet deep moment creativity reflects my character, which is unwavering and loyal to drive out the shadows, yet occasionally the most potent revelations about who I am come wrapped in. Daily miracle, the subtle changes of a morning, the unsaid connection between devoted friends. I plan these occasions so you can enjoy the scent of flowers blooming after a chilly season, may perceive the breadth of my imagination and the loving attention I give to each intricacy. However, it's simple to get bored with such marvels that let timetables and obligations that erode your ability to be amazed every day. You rarely stop to observe the brushstrokes of my artistry sprayed across as you dash from one assignment to the next. Even the distinctiveness of your own existence can be lost in your world. Neglected, my darling. Don't allow life's speed to take away the valuable gift of wonder. Observe your surroundings with fresh eyes and let thankfulness blossom. My fingerprints are recognized in every sunrise, every shared grin, and every act of. Being compassionate makes your spirit more sensitive to my voice as you stand in awe of my creations. Wordless prayer can be found in the psalm of a breeze blowing through trees or in the moonlight dancing over quiet waters. This wonder is so intimate that it not only keeps you rooted in my presence, but also feeds thankfulness and faith in your amazement. You never forget that I am far more than. Even though you fully understand majestic, I still prefer to live among you, near elevated and deeply interested in your life. Let yourself enjoy. I hung the stars in the night sky to ease the strain, but I also call. I created galaxies beyond your wildest dreams, but I still care about you. Regarding the smallest aspects of your day, I am naturally radiant, in splendor, and show sensitive affection when your heart bends before me in awe. Pride dissolves, and humility brings you closer to realizing how close I am. Therefore, let my child be a source of refreshment by seeking out occasions to stand in amazement. Your devotion strengthens your faith and broadens your appreciation for the gift of wonder, like a child's eyes widening as they gaze up at a starry sky, breath caught. In this sacred wonder, your heart will be awakened to the grandeur of my love. Discover fresh happiness and an unwavering faith that the God who possesses the universe, my lovely child, also keeps you close. We have walked, united by consoling words, gentle correction, and unwavering. I swear that with each chapter, I have drew you closer to the depths of my heart, enveloping you in heavenly love and supporting you. I'm asking you to let go of your troubles and to put your faith in me for both big and small things right now. As this letter comes to an end, I want to give you a firm assurance that you are. You are cherished forever, and your future is bright with hope beneath my. Take careful note of what we discussed and how you started this trip by entering my embrace and experiencing the warmth of being completely seen and completely. I've demonstrated to you, my love, that my eyes never leave you and that I understand you. Knows no limits. I have reassured your tired soul and reminded you that I am prepared to raise your troubles and bring you tranquility. I've asked you to think and Give all your sorrow and remorse to my hands. I have helped you through. Useful techniques to manifest your religion in concrete ways, such as daily deeds of kindness and prayer and forgiveness, have captivated your mind with poetic depictions of my might, protective mantle, and powerful sword. I have spoken promises of change and blessings to you from darkness. I have had frank conversations with your spirit that are both intimate and extensive, eventually answering all of the hidden anxieties and unanswered questions. I have advised you to remain watchful in order to protect the priceless truth that I have instilled in you through all of these messages. My love is the thread that connects all of your life's circumstances into a single reality. It serves as a cornerstone of your faith, your fortitude in overcoming obstacles, and the flag above every. Victory is a steady melody that never wavers, even when you stumble or doubt it, leading you home with a light that shines through all of your hardships and the pleasures you enjoy. I continue to be your dependable strolling buddy. Let hope blossom within you, kid, by celebrating your victories and consoling you in your sorrows. Like the morning, hope is the conviction that I am, not the rejection of reality, more than any barrier. It is the vision that looks past the current issues to a future full of my opportunities. And when your heart feels tired, let me remind you that I have. When your mind struggles with worries, let my spirit whisper to you to conquer the world. When the journey appears lengthy, find calm in the midst of the chaos. The testimonials of people who have experienced my loyalty at the darkest hours and come out stronger on the other side encourage you to keep searching for me every day and develop the practice of finding me in the mundane, in the silence of, early in the morning, laughing with friends in the peaceful comfort of, when I'm busy. I take a time to breathe my name and invite myself into every task, and every idea keeps a heart tuned into my whispers since I talk a lot. In delicate ways that need for careful attention, you'll discover that I'm never far away but always willing to connect with you in the fabric of your daily life. In addition, keep in mind to give to the fellowship of believers, which supports individuals who share your journey. No one was supposed to take this path. Therefore pray for those who will lovingly correct you and rejoice with you. Path alone, my church is a haven and a family, where hardships are shared and faith is reinforced. Look for unity instead of division, service instead of pride, and humility instead of self-interest in the Christian community's ties. You'll be inspired to keep unwaveringly encouraging one another to do good deeds and deeper devotion as you leave the hallowed period of reading and contemplation. Keep these facts in mind. You are my cherished child, redeemed and loved one. You have a purpose that surpasses your wildest expectations. I provide insight into every query and consolation for every. My blessings are intended to enrich you in both the short and long term. Nothing can take you away from my love. Close your heart and bless others through you. Take a moment to visualize my hands softly resting in benediction on your head. Feel the warmth of my smile as I say, I am yours and you are mine. Go in my calm, walk in my truth, and know that I will never abandon you. Illuminate a world in need of hope with my light. This is not merely a farewell, but with the knowledge we have exchanged, the forgiveness you have accepted, and the hope that is now rekindled. Confidently face each day with the knowledge that my grace will meet every. Allow each moment of thankfulness to empower you to overcome the challenge. Every deed of compassion. Do you realize how near I am to you now? Even as you read these words, my little child, like the gentle, comforting wind I've been craving all this time, my presence envelopes you. Think of this message as my special opportunity to speak directly to your heart during your day. A special message to you. Rest in the peace, for love is a whisper on a sacred wind. Since the day your heart began to beat, I have known you by name, and I am aware of your boundless affection. I saw your smile long before you were born. Therefore you are neither a coincidence nor the result of pure luck. I anticipated every moment of your struggles, aspirations, and tears. Yes, my child, you have a father's delight in life, and I'm prepared to support you through both your success and your sorrow. You are not only a soul lost in a vast ocean, you are the object of my passionate devotion. Universe, but a precious work of art created with divine intent, and I welcome you now. Wishing to let you know that my heart is always open, arms wide open. Can you feel the warmth of that embrace when you're feeling overwhelmed or distant, unworthy? Remember that my love is independent of your accomplishments and is unconditional, or deterred by your flaws in the same manner that a parent's eyes brighten with unfailing love for their beloved son or. I always stare at you, daughter, with warm, inviting eyes. Devout, stop, inhale deeply, and allow yourself to be at ease in this truth. I love you, and I am always there in every part of your life. Heart that escapes me when you laugh, and I join you in celebrating when melancholy shadows emerge. Obscure your vision as I embrace you and carry some of your